Okay, next, I want to talk about the cooling system and dowel pins. These are a couple issues of concern for us. Every shop has a little different process for how they take care of these systems. I know that we have a couple times a year, we get a core back with a dowel pin in it, and it leads the question, does it pull out with your finger or do we have to heat it up and yank on it? If it comes right out, chances are pretty good it's not in the transmission, right? So please make sure the dowel pins are there. They're really crucial. They're important to the perfect alignment of crankshaft through converter through input all the way through. Over time, you can have issues with torque converter leaks, input shaft seal leaks. Dowel pins are vital, so make sure that those are swapped over. That's step one in the install process. The other common issue that we have is the cooling system for the transmission. I've got some really cool displays here, some stuff we've cut open. I've got a radiator from our friends over at Moose Radiator. My buddy Dan there's awesome. Take care of any of your needs with that stuff, but he loaned this as a demo, and then we've got our own cutout bottom tray to the radiator. So this is an example of a cooling system for the transmission that is in the radiator. So the bottom portion, right, the top portion's dedicated to cooling the engine, right? Warm coolant goes in here, cooled coolant comes back out here to the engine. Everything's on this path. As that cooler fluid flows through the bottom here, we have a little tiny transmission cooler sitting inside here. I've got this one cut open to show you what this looks like inside because this is really crucial. So in order to slow the fluid down so that it stays in this long enough to cool down, the manufacturers have put a mesh channel in here. So you can see the inner tube. The fluid does not flow through the inner tube. The inner tube is designed to force the fluid through this outer section and this mesh wire. So as we talk about a transmission failing, as we talk about a transmission breaking down, you get metal debris, you get clutch debris, you get brass from the converter, you get all sorts of junk flowing through this tiny little channel in the transmission cooler. Now there are a bunch of ways to try to clean this system out, and we're going to talk about a couple of them here as far as what TRC regards as acceptable. There's a company that does a fantastic job with their product. We do believe it's a good quality product. It's called Cooler Clean. I've got it right here. We have seen Cooler Clean not work. We have seen it during situations of heavy debris. It can take the path of least resistance. And if we have a transmission that does not have cooler flow or has a whole bunch of foreign debris in it, we have a whole separate conversation about the warranty. We really don't want to have that conversation, right? We want the transmission to have the best chance of life possible. And so I want to set you up with a couple recipes for success here. Under light debris, Cooler Clean will do a good job. And again, this is kind of on you to decide whether you want to use this or not. We have our recommendations for how you should do that. So I'm going to go over a couple of them here. One option, most transmission shops have a hot flush machine. So when we ask, do you have a hot flush? We're not saying, do you have a flush machine? We're actually asking, do you have a machine that heats a chemical fluid that cycles back and forth through this? So it hooks up the two cooler lines from the transmission side and it cycles heated fluid back and forth through this machine. So hot flush is a fairly unique system. I believe you can buy one for about $3,000. They go up a little bit from there depending on the quality of the machine you want to use, but that is a method that we believe in. A hot flush will actually allow you to tell if the cooler is not cleanable. You can decide, hey, this is not salvageable, but for the most part, a hot flush will get rid of the debris, and we've got a brand new type cooler to hook up to. That's an acceptable form for us for our warranty. Second idea, this unit is pretty crucial to the runnability of the car, right? So replace the whole radiator, just put a new one in. It helps the engine and it gives you a brand new cooling system that there's no worries about cleaning out the debris. You can use Cooler Clean to clean out the cooler lines. It's fantastic for that. We absolutely believe it's a great product for that. But where it gets tight, right, that's just replace it. Just get a brand new radiator. The most of them drop in fairly easily. The third option we stand by is a bypass cooler. So it would mount in front of the radiator. There's a bunch of generic brands. We happen to like TrueCool specifically. We've had basically zero failures with them in the last 30 years. We've sold a ton of them. We think it's a fantastic system. It comes with all the mounting brackets to attach it to the front of the radiator, and it comes with extra hose to redirect the lines to that. Any of those methods are acceptable, but please make sure we have a clean cooling system for that new transmission.